have me welcome Samantha Jeffrey. Woo!
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. And I'm super excited. I am still super anglais, you guys. Nothing has changed in the last couple of months. Je parle un petit peu en français, but mostly in anglais. And I'm super excited to be here with Team Vision. You guys, I want you to know, if you don't know it already, right? I know Avril, you're a little bit newer. Sarah, we are going to spend so much time together. Both of you don't even know it yet. And I can't wait. Sab, we've had many vision, many vagina shots, many fun times. And Guy, I can't wait to see you in like 2 weeks at Building Giants. Um, but man, oh man, you guys are part of the right team at the right time in the best company. And it's funny because you're going to hear that often in this business. You're going to say, like, weird. I hear this all the time. We're in the right time, at the right industry, in the best team, in the best company. And I want to say, without a doubt, the last 8 years I have been here, I believe that in my heart and soul. I believe that in my heart and soul. And it hasn't been easy. Okay, it hasn't been easy. And Kevin just highlighted a little bit. He's like, yes, right, we're at 700K of income. That's amazing, right? We just promoted another SMD today, so you guys are going to hear about it tomorrow. I'm super pumped. I can't wait. I'm not going to spill the beans because Jason doesn't even technically know because he's in a rendezvous right now. So I'm just like, I can't wait till he finishes. But there's another SMD promotion coming as of today. And my life 8 years ago was very different. It was very different. So before WFG, it's crazy. I used to pick things up and put things down, right? So I worked in a blue collar industry. I worked in Alberta, right? I was born and raised a small town oil and gas girl. So I drove big trucks, right? I was really excited to work hard, and it wasn't unusual for my friends and my family to work 10, 12, 14-hour days every single day with only maybe 4 days off a month. It was very normal. So I feel very privileged coming into this business with having an incredible work ethic before WFG. But in saying that, before WFG, I had a great work ethic. I made a lot of money, but I had no life. I had absolutely no life. Before WFG, I had only ever traveled twice in my life. Once was for my brother's hockey, right? So I was super proud of him. He was doing very good in hockey. We got to go to Europe once when I was 14 because he was so good. It was amazing. I got to see 13 different arenas. Magic. As a 14-year-old, I got to see nothing. I just got to go arena, hockey. I learned Russian players, okay, just in case you didn't know. They wear their helmets, and then they have this, like, they have their hair is all cut, but like right here, just at the very back, they have like one little braid. It's very weird, but I learned this. That's what young 14-year-old boys have in Russia when they like play hockey. I'm like, this is cool, right? So I had that experience. And then finally, when I was 22 years old, I went to Mexico for the first time. Hey, I went to Mexico for the first time, and I'm like, this is amazing. I got to see a beach. I got to stand in the water. I'm like, this is really cool. And I don't know if any of you are like me, but growing up, my parents said, I want to go to Disneyland. And I was just like, yes, this is super cool. And I want to go to Disneyland. But it was always next year. It was always when you're 4 feet tall. And then once you were 4 feet tall, it was when you were 5 feet tall so you can ride all the roller coasters. And then all of a sudden it was, we're too busy and you have a dance competition and you have this and you have this. And suddenly it never happened, right? And so that was my life before WFG. And coming into this business, I want you to know that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And I have found over the years sometimes people get scared of approaching contact, right? Because they're like, man, if I use the scripts wrong, they're going to reject me. They're going to make fun of me, right? They're going to be nervous. They're going to laugh at me. And I can't, I'm in an analysis paralysis. Like I'm scared. I'm not good enough. So because I don't feel good enough, they're not going to accept what I have to say. And I want you to know that the scripts are there for a reason. And yes, clearly, master the scripts, okay? Master the scripts, practice, practice, practice. But I am a product of somebody saying the wrong thing to the right person. Okay? I am a product of somebody reaching out because I was in university and I was excited to graduate. I was so pumped to graduate. I'm like, I just want to be done school. And so for that, like, I don't know if any of you have been to university, but man, oh man, I never wanted to read another book in my life. I'm going to say this with all the love. F studying, F textbooks. Like I was done. I'm like, my brain was done. I was shut off. I'm like, I am not reading another book in my life. Like I have spent enough money paying for an education. Like just let me go make some money. And for me in Alberta, it's a little bit different in Quebec, but for me in Alberta, to get a Bachelor of Commerce degree, right? So a business degree in entrepreneurship and small business management, that's like a 4-year university program. So that'd be the equivalent of somebody in Quebec doing their 2 years of cégep and the 3 years of university to get their degree. Just so you know, that piece of paper, I have it on my desk in my office in Laval in the office, cost me $50,000. $50,000 over the course of 4 years, right? So I had to pay out of my own pocket approximately $12,000 per year just to be able to attend school to get a piece of paper that said I was educated enough to go out and get a job. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely crazy? The traditional world, the traditional industry teaches us to be employees and then tells us, hey, you need to pay in order to get the skill set to do it. Well, here's the thing about WFG. Somebody turned around, they reached out to me because I was a typical university student. I was like, I'm done, I'm ready, I want to travel the world. I'm never looking at a book again. I posted on Facebook, right? And I'm like, I just can't wait to finish school. I was 2 months before being done. I'm like, I can't wait to finish school. I'm going to go backpack the world. I'm like, I just want to go to Europe. I want to see castles. Like hockey arenas aren't really cool. I mean, I saw them when I was 14, but like that doesn't count, okay? I want to experience Europe. I want to go to like Ibiza. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to France. Like I want to go party. I just want to do whatever the heck I want to do, right? And so I was really pumped. And a friend of mine reached out and he was just like, hey, do you have a job coming out of university? And I was like, no, am I supposed to? Like in my brain, isn't that also crazy? You spent $50,000 for a degree and you don't even have like a guaranteed job. You still have to look for one. You still have to go find one and then apply and compete against all of these different people. Oh, heck no. So he sent me a message saying, have you found a job coming out of university? And I was like, oh, heck no. And he was like, how would you like to learn more about a company where you can travel for free? Yep, I'm sold. Tell me more. I'm all in. And so on March 17th of 2025, March 17th, 2025. I remember that day because it was St. Patrick's Day and I was pumped. I was wearing green. I was excited to go out after the PGA and drink green beer with my friends, right? St. Patrick's Day, I showed up to the office and I learned more. I learned more about my own personal money and finance in a 45, it was an hour long back then. It was actually an hour long session, an hour long PGA. I learned more about my own personal money and finance than I did in a 4-year university program that cost me $50,000. And I was supposed to be a consultant for small family-owned businesses so that they could have a better chance at financial success. Isn't that crazy? That's absolutely wild. And so from that moment on, I planted my flag. I had a month and a half left done of school to finish school. Obviously, I finished it because I'm like, you can't just quit a month and a half done, right? So, yes, I got my piece of paper. Yes, I walked across the stage. But man, oh man, my flag has been planted. And I'm so blessed because in that journey, I ended up finding out who I am as a person and who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. So for those of you who are single on the call, you know what? I was there. I was there once upon a time when I started in this business. I was single. I had been through some traumatic experiences. I had some ups and downs with relationships, and I was like, I never want to date another guy again, right? Like I was like, oh heck no, right? So when I started this business, I was like, you know, men off, I'm gonna be a powerhouse lady. I am doing my own thing, right? I'm like the Lizzo song, right? Like I'm just gonna go and do my own thing. But man, I ended up finding the love of my life. I've ended up traveling the world, and I ended up finding out who I am as a human. And I think that people underestimate the power of this company to build you into a better person. People underestimate the power of this company to build you into a better person. And what I mean by that is I would like you to think for a minute that every single one of us out here, we're going to be one of three things. We're going to be one of three things. We are going to be a carrot, we are going to be an egg, or we are going to be a coffee bean, right? We're going to be a carrot, we're going to be an egg, or we're going to be a coffee bean. And here's what I mean by that. In your life, things are going to get hard. Things are going to get hot. Things are going to get terrible and crazy. And what happens when you take a strong carrot, a strong, solid, strong carrot, and you put it in hot, boiling water? It gets soft. It gets soft. It gets floppy. It ends up getting mushy if you cook it for long enough, right? I don't know if any of you make pureed soup, but man, I do all the time, and I will cook the shit out of my carrots to make it mushy, right? Now, other side of the coin, we've got eggs. We've got eggs that start out, they are soft, and when you put them in boiling water, they become hard, they become rocks, right? They're not, I mean, hard-boiled eggs are great, but you cook it for too long, they're black, they're gross on the inside, you can't even eat it. Both of those two things, they change dramatically when it comes to putting them in hot water. And then you've got a coffee bean, and my goal is to be a coffee bean. And what I learned is that in this business, it builds you into being a coffee bean. And what I mean by that is, man, you put a coffee bean in water and it makes the sweet nectar of life, right? Like, I don't know if any of you are coffee drinkers, but coffee becomes golden if you put it in boiling water, right? That coffee bean becomes this sweet, 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 delicious substance that most people actually start their mornings with. Right. And so I'm so grateful for this business because it taught me that being a coffee bean is a good thing. It taught me that when tough situations arise, I can handle it. And it gave me all the skills I needed in order to do so. But I'm going to be real with you guys. I cried a lot. I cried a lot. I am I'm going to call it a stereotypical female. I feel my feelings so very deeply. I am high on my highs and I am low on my lows. And when I started this business, I had a really good resting bitch face. Okay, I had a really good resting bitch face. And it was kind of like you're either with me or you're against me. There was no gray area, right? I was all or nothing. There was no in between. And so this business has taught me that I can be more than black and white, right? I can live in a sea of green. And I definitely have those Scorpio vibes still inside, right? Like they're still like, shh, right? Like I'm born in November, sad nose, like I'm just waiting. I got like a little, no, but this business taught me that I can be so much more than my zodiac. I can be so much more than what society tells me to be. And I can still be feminine and powerful. I can still be emotional and sensitive and still be a leader. I can still be kind and still be strong. Because in society, it doesn't tell you that. It tells you you need to embrace a masculine energy in order to win. right? It tells you that you need to be like on par in order to succeed. Well, guess what? You need to be able to connect with people and relate with people and make friends with people in order to grow and to build. And quite frankly, the thing that I'm super excited about, I'm excited about so many different things. I'm not going to take too much time, but I want today to be able to paint an image of what can be possible for you. Because this business will be hard, right? It will be challenging. There will be moments where you're just like, fuck it, I want to quit. 100%. I can guarantee you there will be moments where you say, fuck it, I want to quit. But it's your habits and it's your goals that are going to get you through those tough times, right? It's the same way that you feel. I don't know if any of you have ever been on a diet before, right? I'm going to call it a diet, or you want to change your nutritional plan and you're like, hey, I need to cut out my chips. I need to cut out my alcohol. I need to cut out all the junk food. And then for some reason at like 8 p.m. at night, like everything in your body says like, I just want to eat junk. Give me the ice cream. And it's your habits and your mindset and your goals that are going to get you through from 8 p.m. till the following morning at 7 a.m., where you're going to decide to not give in to temptation. Well, this business is the same, right? It's going to teach you to take control of your own habits. It's going to teach you to build goals, to build dreams, so that you can go out and actually master your own mind. Because the toughest place to master is the 6 inches between your ears. It's your mindset. Your mindset is the biggest, toughest thing you need to master. And so by being around good people, by experiencing incredible things, you're going to be able to master your mindset, and you're going to be able to keep growing every single day. You know, in this business, when I first started, it wasn't strange for me to work really hard. It wasn't strange for me to stop at 10 p.m. It was actually one of my favorite things back in the day, okay? Pre-COVID, you guys, pre-COVID, you know what we had to do? We all had to actually drive to the office in the branch to put all of our paper applications we signed with the client in person in a mailbox so they could mail it to the product partners. Okay, pre-COVID in Alberta, we worked in an office. It was a 20,000 square foot office. It had 700 or 800 licensed agents in that one office. And so I loved working at 10 p.m. at night, because that meant I had no lineups for the photocopier. I had no lineups for the fax machine. Sometimes when I used to do business, I would stand in line and I would wait for 20 minutes just to be able to use the printer. Just to be able to use a printer. Right? So I loved working at night. It meant no lineups. And for the first little bit of Jason and I dating, it's funny because I had got my own associate promotion. I was rocking, I was rolling, and we started dating, and he was actually on his SMD run. And we like to joke about this, but Greg always said, stay single till SMD. Okay, stay single till SMD so you don't get distracted. And I'm grateful he said that, because of that mentorship, when Jason and I first started dating, we would see each other after he was done at the office, and I would drive him to the military base in the morning. So he would go from the military base to the office, from the military base, from the house to the military base to the office to the house, and we would date from 10 p.m. till like 5 a.m. because I think I had to drive him to the military base at like 6 or 7. Like, Sab is like, yeah, it's super early. It was super early, okay? It sucked. I did not enjoy that part. I was not ready for that level of commitment. Yeah, okay, morning runs at 6. Yeah, so it was probably like up at 5:30 to be there at 6. It's probably something crazy like that, okay? But But in the beginning, we dated at night. And as a spouse, as a conjoint, as a, you know, a girlfriend, I was ready to sacrifice us real dating because I knew what was coming in our future. And so for the first couple of months, yeah, it wasn't the stereotypical every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we would go out and do all these extravagant things. But then Jason, being the stud he is, working as hard as he was, he qualified for all of these incredible experiences. And one of the first ones that we went on, we qualified for an elite trip, and it was with Greg's team, and we went to Ontario. We lived in Alberta. We went to Ontario. We went to Toronto. They took us to the top of the CN Tower. We had dinner in the revolving restaurant, right? That was absolutely amazing. We went to a Blue Jays game, all paid for, all flights all paid for, Blue Jays game all paid for. I knew nothing about baseball, but what I do know is they serve incredible Caesars, right? They have great Caesars, and they give you ice cream. All the food is paid for, and I'm like, what is this magical company where they give you hats, they give you swag, they treat you like royalty. And then at the time, this is maybe 6 or 7 years, probably 7 or 8 years ago, we go and we stay at the Trump Tower. It's been renamed since then, but man, the Trump Tower in Ontario, if you've never been, you have to go. This hotel, the hotel rooms have doorbells. They have doorbells on them. And inside of the room, each room, this is like the standard room, not even like the crazy ones. The standard had a freaking fireplace and a chandelier. And then I walk into the bathroom and I'm like, okay, I got to do my makeup because I'm trying to impress the guy I've been dating for like less than a year. I'm like, I got to be cute, got to be on my A game, got to put on my little black dress. I don't know if any of you ladies know exactly what I'm talking about, but I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Right? And then I walk in and I go in the bathroom and I see these buttons on the mirror and I'm like, this is weird. Why are there buttons on a mirror? I click the button, TV screen pops up inside of the mirror, and the other button turns on like a light around the mirror. So, oh my God, I never did my makeup so well in my life. Right? Like this was just absolutely magic. And I'm standing there and I'm like, is this real life? I turn sideways and I see this bathtub that I don't know if you've met Jason in person. A few of you have, a few of you haven't. But man, he's a giant. He's like, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3", like he's over 6 feet, okay? Like he's a big guy. And he was in his military days, so he's like buff, right? Like he's, I don't know, 220 pounds, solid muscle, like it's absolutely insane. So trying to fit in a bathtub with him, you're like, that's impossible. Like he's a giant, it's not gonna happen. And I turn sideways and I see this bathtub, and it's so big that he can sit on one end and I sit on the other end, and we don't even touch each other. And I'm like, what is life? Like this is just absolutely magic. And so I get ready and I'm super excited because we're gonna go out on the town, we're gonna do all these incredible things. And I get ready so fast. And obviously the boys are like, get ready in a second because clearly they're boys. So we go downstairs to the bottom and we're waiting for everybody else. And who do we meet? We meet Cam Agnew and his wife, Irene. And so we sit there in the bar waiting for everybody else to come down so that we can go out. I don't remember what we were doing that night, if that was the night we went into the CN, or because there's so many incredible things we did that night. But we're sitting there and he's just like, hey, do you guys like tequila? And I'm just like, well, yes, you're channeling my inner party girl. I am 24 years old. I used to get bottle service all the time. Like, come on. Yes, I love tequila. Tell me more. And he's just like, have you ever had a tequila shot that costs $100? And I'm like, no. I don't even buy tequila bottles that cost $30. So what do you mean a tequila shot that costs $100? Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And so we go and we have this super crazy tequila, and because Irene, it's her margaritas are her favorite thing. She loves tequila, right? So we have tequila, we all taste this tequila, and then they go and we're at the bar and they bring out popcorn. And I don't know about you guys, but I love sitting at the bar and eating all those little snacks. Right? Like sometimes they're like the corn chips, sometimes they're like little like corn nuts, they're like all those little pretzels, all those snacks. And I'm like, oh, popcorn is my fave. I love popcorn. And I'm eating this popcorn and I'm like, this is life-changing. Like, this is weird. Like, I I have never had popcorn that tastes this good. And this is the free popcorn. This is the stuff that they just put on the tables, okay? And I go and the waitress comes by and I'm just like, okay, I'm like, excuse me, I'm so curious. How do you make your popcorn? Because this is the best popcorn I've ever had in my life. And she's like, well, yeah, of course it is. We pop all of our popcorn in truffle oil. Excuse me? What? You mean the really expensive mushroom oil that like I've only seen in super fancy restaurants? You mean that oil? Yeah, truffle oil. Okay, wait, so you're telling me you pop free popcorn for your bar in truffle oil? Yeah, of course. And I'm just like, okay, so my mind just completely exploded. And then it was crazy because a couple months later, we qualified for another trip, right? And so here's the deal, you guys. If there's a contest, I want you to work towards it. I want you to qualify for it because you deserve to be there and these experiences change your life. And so a few months later, we qualified, and this is key for me, we qualified to come to Charlevoix in Quebec. Remember, I'm a small town Alberta girl, right? Oil and gas industry. Like, I know nothing about Quebec except for Quebec people hate oil and gas and they want nothing to do with the pipeline and they want to just take all of Alberta's money, okay, right? This is what I've been taught, right? This is what I grew up with. And so I'm like, okay, so we qualified for this incredible trip and we go to Charlevoix and we go whale watching. And we go to the casino and we go on this wine tour and we go see all of these incredible places and we eat food that's just, oh my God, so extravagant. And then we go golfing and we stayed at the Fairmont, clearly, because if you stay along with WFG enough times, you're going to learn that you stay at Fairmonts very frequently. And it's on my bucket list to be able to stay at every Fairmont in the world. But we stayed at the Fairmont in Charlevoix, overlooking the St. Lawrence River, and they have a golf course right at the top there, right kind of like up the hill, and on almost every single hole you play on, you're looking out and at the St. Lawrence River, and it's just absolutely gorgeous and magical. And it's the first time I've ever played golf in my life, right? The first time I've ever played golf in my life. So I was wearing shorts that I didn't even know, like, if they're golf shorts. I was wearing a t-shirt, and now looking back on it, it's super funny because I look at what I was wearing and I'm like, oh my God, this is so not professional. And so we're standing there, we're at like the little like clubhouse, and I'm like, what do I need? Like, do I need something else? I know nothing about golf. And so the people that we're with, they're just like, yeah, you need to buy a golf glove. And the golf gloves that were there, I'm like, this is super cool, right? Like, I'm there with Jason. I'm not working anymore. I finished university, right? I'm transitioning full-time WFG. I'm starting to work for him as an admin, right? So he's paying for some of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to get a golf glove. And I started looking at these golf gloves and I'm just like, holy shit, it's $50 for one. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a situation like this. I mean, probably. I'm probably preaching to the choir because I feel like your guys' past is just like my past. But once upon a time, I used to eat mustard with a can of tuna because I couldn't afford groceries, right? I used to go out and I would be like, what condiments do I have in a fridge that I can put on a piece of bread and just make it through the week? I would buy a loaf of bread and I'd be like, okay, come on, Samantha, like, you can do this. You can do this. You don't eat that much, like, super chill. You're going to eat once a day, right? And so there was a point in my life where that's what it was. So $50 for me for a freaking golf glove was the end of the world. And I'm like, oh heck no, right? Oh heck freaking no, I am totally not doing this, right? But Jason, the sweet man that he is, he's just like, no, too late. What color do you want? I'm like, I don't know, purple. So he bought me a purple golf glove. I had no idea which way I shot. I used to shoot hockey left, right? So I was left-handed when I played hockey. So I'm like, probably I shoot left. So he got me like the correct golf glove for like left-handed shooting. I'm trying to hit golf clubs for the first time. And if you're a golfer, right, we had our own cart, our names were on it, and we had his and hers clubs, right? We had male clubs, we had female clubs, and they were all tailor-made, right? And that is an incredible brand of golf clubs. If you know nothing about golf, I knew nothing about golf. Mine were white and cute, and they had green writing on them. So I was just like, yeah, this is heaven. This is super cool. I'm super excited. And now that I've been in the business long enough, I'm just like, holy shit, that was absolutely incredible. That was life-changing. Like, normal people don't get these experiences, right? So every time I travel now, I'm just like, what kind of shampoo am I bringing? Absolutely nothing, right? Because ladies, here's the deal. If you travel and you know this, I'm willing to bet you pack shampoo in bottles because you're like, fuck the hotel shampoo. Seriously, right? You're just like, the hotel shampoo is gonna ruin my hair. It's gonna feel like straw. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Well, here's the crazy part. With WFG, we've built ourselves to a point where when we travel, I don't even think about that anymore because I know that the quality of shampoo in the hotels is good enough that I don't even need to bring it. Right? And I'm so excited for that. I actually have like extra stuff from the Fairmont. It's so good. We've gone to Mexico so many different times. But what I want to give to you is a little bit of inspiration. I want to tell you that I'm nothing special. I'm nothing special. I'm a person who decided to work hard and give it my all. I'm a person who decided that on my hard days, when I want to quit, when I want to cry, I give myself 10 or 15 minutes of a pity party. And I have a timer on my phone. I have a timer on my phone where I'm just like, man, when I'm having a shit day, when I'm having a terrible moment, I'm like, man, I'll just be like, okay, depending on the level of extremeness my motion is, I'll be like, okay, you got 15 minutes to feel bad about yourself. And I'll put a timer on my phone. And when that 15 minutes is done, I've given myself permission to feel my feelings. And then I just got to do it anyways. And it's funny because even the other day, because I'm not perfect, right? We all have our moments of brilliance. Even the other day, Holly walked into the office and she was like, you know what? I'm giving you permission for you to feel your feelings. I'm like, thank you, my queen. She gave me a hug. And guess what? We got back to work. Why? Because getting back to work means in 2 weeks from now, Jason and I are able to take 80 of our teammates to 3 incredible huge domains, right? Where every single couple has a queen bed, right? Which, if you went to Chalet de Lillet, it's both chalets that are rented, right? Plus a third one. We're able to do that for people. We're able to give people back their own goals, their own dreams. And just last week, we had another death claim that we're in the process of paying out. In the last 2 weeks, we had another client just pass away, unfortunately, like this. A 36-year-old woman. And because of what we did, because of the field training appointments that Jason did with a member on the team, and we haven't talked about this yet, so I'm being very sparse with the details because we're still in the process of the claim and it's very new. But because of what he did, because of the phone call that was made, we made sure that her beneficiaries are getting a check from the insurance company of multiple 6 figures, and the investments that used to be invested at the bank are going to be paid directly to the beneficiaries, and they're going to bypass probate. They're going to bypass probate. And probate can take months or years to go through if you don't have beneficiaries named on file. So it's crazy because, yes, in this business, you get to taste luxury, but you don't just get to taste it, you get to experience it, and then you get to give it back to your friends and your family. It means that when your truck breaks down out of nowhere and the check engine light comes on and Holly is laughing because she's heard many, many wonderful stories about my truck over the last year. But when your truck breaks down and the check engine light comes on and it's no longer under warranty because you've had it for 6 years, and you take it to the dealership and they said, yep, that's fine. New engine is going to cost you $10,000. If you want it, you need to put $5,000 down now. You don't even have to blink. You just get to say, okay, debit or credit. Well, I can pay a debit, but I'd rather use credit so that I can just get some points on this thing, and then I'll just like pay it right after, right? It means that when your friends have an emergency that happens and they're stuck in a different country and they can't fly home, right? And they have absolutely no more money left. And you're just like, okay, how much is the return flight going to cost? No stress. I'll book your ticket. It means that when your family gets married across the country, because holy shit, traveling to Alberta is more expensive than traveling to Mexico. Like, what? Canada? This is insane, right? You don't even have to blink an eye. You don't even have to blink an eye. When it means that your sister-in-law is having a bachelorette party in Kelowna and she's invited all of her friends and family, and you're the one who's actually going to be coming from the longest distance, you can still pay for everything and pay for all of her stuff and not matter and still give back. It means that when charity things come up, right, and your old dance teacher is doing a bike tour for MS because she has MS, and they go and they have like the little donation things on a monthly basis, and it's like, how much is it going to cost? You can go and you can put $500 a month every single month for the next 6 months or the next year. It means that whatever happens, you don't have to stress and you don't have to worry. Because here's the crazy part: relationships, right? Families, relationships, business relationships, everything, honestly, in my opinion, it boils down to finances. And it boils down to finances because that boils down to you feeling secure and if you're able to provide or not provide. And here's the thing: money doesn't create good people. Money does not create good people. Money brings out the best or the worst in who you are. But here's what I believe. I genuinely believe in my heart and soul that the only types of people that are attracted to this business, that are attracted to this industry, that are here in our team and part of WFG are good people. Why? Because the only way you can win in this business is by helping other people succeed. The only way that you can win in this business is by helping other people succeed, right? Because you can go fast alone, but you can go farther together. You can go fast alone, but you can go farther together. And here's the thing, you guys. I jumped up and down and cried about 2 hours ago when I found out another teammate just hit their SMD promotion. And that means that super soon we are going to have our first EMD on the team. It's right around the corner, right? Super duper excited. And we've got so many more people hitting income milestones and promotions every single week. But the crazy part about this is 4 years ago, just 4 years ago, you guys, just 4 years ago, Jason and I were in Quebec making $100,000 a year with 6 licensed agents on the team. Just 4. 4 years ago, $100,000 a year, 6 licensed agents on the team. And in 4 years, we've been able to promote 10 SMDs now, 11 as of next month, 12 as of the month after. We've got 4 agents on the team who earn over $100,000 a year. We had what? 5, 6, 7 50K watches just this calendar year. We've become the first CEO team in the whole province. We went from 6 licensed agents to over 150. We're going to finish this year. I haven't calculated recently, right? So don't hold me to those numbers. There's for sure over 150, but that was a couple months ago. We're for sure going to finish over around 300 at the end of this calendar year. And it's crazy because a lot can happen really fast if you stick through the hard times when you feel like you have no results. If you grind when it feels like nothing's happening. Because you guys, for the first 4 years of this business, I'm not going to lie, I felt like nothing was happening a lot of the time. We get a license, another one would quit. We get 4 licenses, another one would quit. I remember when we first opened the office and the only people that showed up for a PGA for guests and agents was me and Jason and our partner, Ben Leclerc. And that was it. Office was empty. It was just 3 of us. I remember living in St. Marthe-sur-le-Lac when we first moved to Quebec, and we lived in Jason's dad's basement for a full year when we first opened our own office. You guys, imagine a 25-year-old female, a 28-year-old male moving into their dad's basement. We're not allowed in the kitchen at night, right? We can't make our own food. We're allowed one tiny shelf in the fridge, right? And hey, life was life, and we were up, we were awake, we were out of the house at 6:30 so that we could actually get to the office, because it took us an hour and a half drive with traffic in Montreal to get to the office, to build the office, to run everything, to do everything on paper. Jason used to drive his Audi, right, over from Montreal, from Laval to Montreal to Saint-Remy, to Chateauguay, to Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, all the way up to the one where Beatrice is right now, Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. He drove everywhere, right? He drove frickin' everywhere in order to meet clients and build a team. And here's the crazy part: you have access to all of this at your fingertips. You guys, you can do what we did so much faster. You can do what we did so much faster. Because with the Zoom world, we've been able to go from 6 licensed agents to, let's say 170 in 4 years. Imagine what you can do if you're consistent. Imagine who you can become if you're committed to going all in. Here's the thing: if you don't go all in, that's okay. I still love you. If you don't go all in and you still help a client once or twice a month, that's amazing. But here's the thing: I want you to get whatever your goals and dreams are. And if that's an extra $500 a month, wicked. Sign me up. I'm in it, right? It means you can buy organic food if you choose to. It means you can go on that yearly trip to Mexico if you want to with your family. Awesome. I don't care what it is. Here's what I do know: no matter what you want out of this business, you can get it as long as you decide it and you work for it, right? As long as you decide what you want and you work for it. And here's the thing: if you have God-sized goals and dreams and ambitions, then that requires a God-sized work ethic. If you want to be average and ordinary, super chill, no stress. We need average and ordinary. That's what makes extraordinary so special, right? And so here's the thing: I love each and every single one of you, and I can't wait for Avril and Sarah, for you guys to be able to come down and spend some time with us in the office, and for us to be able to travel and get to know each other. And Kevin and Sab and Guy, you guys you already know this, right? Like, this is not a surprise to you. I can't wait for all of the next trips and adventures. And so I'm so proud to be in business with all of you guys. I hope that tonight you got a little bit inspired that, hey, life can be different. It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. But I hope you know that if you're able to just work on those 6 inches between your ears, if you're able to just improve your mindset, get good at hanging around good people who are going to lift you up, who are going to elevate you, then I know that Jason and I and your leaders, Kevin and Holly, are 100% committed to taking you to that next level and being there with you on that journey. So with that, I love you all. Kevin, I'm handing it back to you. Thank you so much for having me, Team Vision. I'm so grateful to be here.
Wow. Thank you, Sam. It was insane. Insane call. Seriously, je suis vraiment content de t'avoir amené sur l'appel ce soir. So, wow, man. Je sais pas si vous avez pris des notes. Qui a pris des notes? Je pense que tout le monde a pris des notes. Fait, pour vrai, c'était vraiment incroyable. Puis, le pire, c'est que, sorry, Sam, I will talk in French because it's easier for me. But you will understand. Mais pour vrai, tu sais, j'ai souvent entendu, tu sais, plusieurs des histoires de Samantha, etc. Puis, tu sais, je sais que ça n'a pas toujours été facile pour Samantha. Puis, tu sais, c'est là qu'on voit que ça vaut tellement la peine, tu sais, malgré les défis, malgré les challenges. Puis, tu sais, souvent on dit, ah, tu sais, ça vaut la peine de rester, ça vaut la peine de rester, mais tu sais, de l'entendre de quelqu'un qui réussit au niveau qu'elle est en ce moment, puis ça fait autant d'années, puis de voir tous les défis par lesquels ils ont passé ensemble, de voir que c'est vrai. Comme, c'est là qu'on peut voir du concret que c'est vrai, tu sais, comme toutes les expériences qu'elle a pu se permettre de faire, se permettre de ne plus faire, tu sais, de pouvoir, hey, Tu sais, le nombre de fois que j'ai vu Sam faire comme, ah, je m'en vais en Alberta, là, comme, dans 2 jours. Ah ouais, ça va faire quoi? Ben, comme, je m'en reprends soin de ma grand-mère. Elle se prend un billet d'avion pour aller prendre soin de sa grand-mère. Comme, n'importe qui ne pourrait pas faire ça parce que, ben, j'ai une job, je peux pas. Quand bien que la personne a l'argent pour le faire, ben, je peux pas. Je peux pas quitter ma job comme, de même comme ça. Right? C'est tellement la liberté que ça peut apporter. Puis ça, je pense, c'est la chose la plus magnifique qu'on peut avoir puis qu'on peut offrir aux gens ici, c'est la liberté de juste comme, tu sais, Sam et Jay, littéralement, ils font ce qu'ils veulent, quand ils veulent, le nombre de fois qu'ils veulent, avec qui qu'ils veulent, la façon qu'ils veulent. Comme ça, c'est la liberté de choix dans la vie, puis ça, c'est juste insane. So, thank you really much. Samantha, it's really appreciate. We love you, and see you maybe tomorrow at the office. And seriously, est-ce qu'on peut donner une dernière main d'applaudissement à Samantha, s'il vous plaît? Thank you, Sam. Thank you again. Juste avant de quitter l'appel, je voulais juste vous montrer certaines choses les 3-4 dernières minutes, puis après ça, on va pouvoir quitter. Si vous pouvez aller envoyer un message à Sam aussi pour lui dire qu'est-ce que vous avez plus appris, retenu, apprécié, aimé de son message de ce soir. Je pense qu'elle trouverait ça apprécié. Fait que si vous pouvez aller faire ça après, ça serait génial. Thank you again, Samantha. I will let you go and see you tomorrow. Thanks again.